discussing the kav. We are on the line, right in the middle of that section, Amud Aleph, on page Samach Vov. Begins with the word lebaal, sechel, cotton.
Got it. You could hear ha'oifen habesu.
Yeah. So, as I said, we're talking about the kav. The kav, the word kav means a line, in contrast to the nakuda. A nakuda is completely a self-contained point. And from this comes the kav. We discussed the nakuda way before. The kav does express, does show aspects of the point. But, as it says, it is called Hamshocha Hiyulis. It brings out the Ayin of the point on the conceptual level. What does that mean? So the way the Rebbe has explained so far, says that the kav is the elongation of the point. There's two ways. The first way, as we discussed already, is where it brings the inyan of the point to various levels of understanding of sehchel, higher sehchel and lower sehchel. So that he brings it back from Godel Elakot. He shows how the union of the point is understandable from all kinds of different perspectives. Now, this is an important principle to understand. The point represents a truth element.
A truth what?
Element.
Element.
As I pointed out many times. Truth reflects itself in every scenario, in every level, according to its own parameters. We have touched upon this in the past. Always taking the simplest of illustrations. We say that a human being, when he eats, he should be sitting at a table and should be eating from a plate with a spoon and whatever other utensils that are helpful for this particular food that he's eating. Now, we said all the time that this manner of eating, that a person has to eat in a certain way, sitting down and so forth, this is actually a halacha in Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch is not talking in terms of convenience. The Shulchan Aruch is talking in terms of dignity of the human being, his divine status. And yet it speaks in those very simple terms. sit, wash your hands beforehand. You're not even allowed to touch bread unless we wash our hands in a certain way. Make a bracha every time you eat. And so forth. And then at the same time, sit at the table and use a spoon and in a convenient way. Now, these are very widely different levels. Human dignity, and in terms of eating with a spoon, that makes it convenient. Lahavdil, the Goy also understands that. But we say, yes, indeed, this can be understood at various levels. It remains that the very phenomenon that a person, a human being, should be comfortable when he eats is already reflective of his special status. A dog can go and put its face into the food, it's okay. For a human being, it's not okay. Not because he's going to soil his face and so forth, but because it's the convenience, the way things are served to him, is part of his dignity.
Okay, so what we're bringing out the way that the same point expresses itself at different levels.
That's right.
Okay.
Even at this very simple low level, it is still based on the upper principle.
In a way, it completely overlaps. Like you could just say it's the same point at different levels. Why say it's a line, right?
Ah.
And how do we relate this to the cow?
Okay. All right. Please understand. Okay, please understand. If there were, like, you can feed a dog also. What will the dog appreciate? Will the dog appreciate this dignity that he's being provided with?
Right, he's not on that line.
One second, no. He's not on that point.
He's not on point, fine. But the guy's eating for convenience.
No, he's not eating for convenience. That's the point.
Who's the man?
The man.
Oh.
Even though he's eating for convenience, that's because he was not being made aware.
Right.
But really, the reason he appreciates the convenience is because he's got the point.
Because he has dignity.
So again,
This is the extension of the real thing. This is why it's called a line. It is a reflection of the real thing. And when a person does not have, you say he's not convenient. No, you say he's missing a human element.
the fork is a convenience, you're saying.
What?
The fork is a convenience. The plate and the fork is a convenience which reflects human dignity or humanity, whatever I'm saying. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what I'm saying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, obviously
Is it
not.
Well, does it provide convenience?
Does the all these things can provide convenience?
Right.
Not as I would. Convenience means something that makes it easier.
All right.
You know.
Small. I know.
I don't know.
You fly away. The whole world eats with a fork and a spoon.
Not always.
I can't take you anymore. Do you want to understand, or you want to stick in your rod hole? You go into a restaurant. Do they give you a spoon and a fork or not?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah. Huh? It's a
Answer straight.
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. If you don't know, then you have to go to kindergarten. You don't belong here.
The reason they give you, because that's how you eat. That's how we eat here.
Why? You just refuse to understand. You don't want to bring yourself into this. If you don't want to, I cannot teach you.
Because we're.
You've said it many times. The Rotzen is the first thing.
Because this is the culture. This is our culture.
Goodbye. Just leave me alone. I can't teach you anymore. You stick to your rat hole and you don't want to learn.
Okay, so fine. So I won't ask more questions.
Okay, thank you. Privately, I can. In class, you must not ask a single question. You don't belong here. You don't belong here. You refuse to come here. You sit here, but you don't bring yourself in here. You remain someplace else. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Wasted the whole year because of this stupidities.
You make.
No, don't say a word. Don't say a word.
Well, you're insulting me.
Of course I'm insulting you. You're insulting yourself.
Reason.
You're insulting yourself. Absolutely, you're insulting yourself. You're insulting yourself.
I don't think so.
I do. I do. You say no. I understand the way you don't understand.
I'm trying to get into your world.
No, you're not.
I have a different. I have lived in a different.
Okay, so but
world.
you're not trying to understand what I'm saying.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
No, you're not.
I'm trying to bring.
No, you're not. You're trying to justify it from the other perspective.
No. Your world is mysterious to me.
I told you, the only way for you to get into this world, dedicate yourself to understand it. That's it. You can understand with the same background that you had. You can't understand it. It's an animalistic. It's like teaching a dog to be a human being. It's ridiculous. You're welcome here if you want to act like a human being. If you want to stay there, then you don't belong here.
Does everybody else agree with him?
Yes. Ask anybody.
Right. Shlomo Yonason?
Yeah. What?
Do you agree?
Rabbis ask you to lift your mind to the level of the class. That's all. So when you have a simple question, why do we eat with a knife and fork? There's a simple, straight answer. You want to deconstruct or undo a whole materialistic, animalistic viewpoint, so speak with Rabbi one-on-one. But in this setting, you bring your mind to this level. That's all.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do by asking these questions.
Okay, but there's a way.
What?
There's a question.
I don't feel.
You said it's
what
mysterious.
He's saying.
Exactly
yes.
right. You said it's mysterious, and Rabbi responded to you that you need to delve into it, that you need to dedicate yourself, and that means certain practical things. Certain things you put aside when you come to the shiur. That would be one example. There's certain regularity. Physically, you show up no matter what, as often as possible, day after day.
Okay, yeah.
Certain things you put aside for after the class. These are examples of what dedicating oneself would mean if you want to start to see inside that world which you said was mysterious to you. That's all. Rabbi's getting frustrated because you're seemingly not stepping up. He wants you to step up. He wants you to jump on board. And he's directing you how to do that, right? And he's confident you can, but you have to dedicate yourself.
The brain is a physical organ, but in the brain there is a soul. And it is the soul that we have to bring into here, not the physical organ. Dignity is due to the soul, not to the physical organ.
Okay, that's clear.
I finished. All right. So we are just about 5 lines from the little known aleph, lebaal, sechel, cotton. This is called a kav, and it is drawn from the nakuda. How is the nakuda reflected in the kav? I started saying, the nakuda is an absolute truth. This absolute truth is understood with the highest qualities of sehchel. Chokhmah and the soul itself relates to it. Then, from this nakuda, we can draw a comparison to other levels, not as a nakuda is deep down in the soul, in the sechel. As a nakuda is to be found at lower levels, bal sechel cotton. So the example that we use was we say there's human dignity, the principle of human dignity, and then there is the manner how this dignity is practiced at various levels. Like we said the other day, just a few days ago, we said there is a phenomenal difference between being served in buffet type style or being served an individual portion at a specific spot and being seated and being served and administered. It's the same food. On the contrary, some people said, no, I'd rather go to the buffet and choose whatever I want. But we are talking in terms of personal attention. There's no comparison. Personal attention, that is what the dignity, human dignity reflects. This is where you recognize it. Buffet type, you can serve the dog also.
Excuse me.
Okay. So this is one aspect of this kav, that it takes the principle that's in the nakuda and extends it through a whole array of levels. And we pointed out many times in the past, and I did this today also, a nakuda of truth reflects itself everywhere.
That's what I mean. In the nutshell, right? A point. Let's say It's very specific. What's this expression?
Okay. I have just now thought of even a better way of illustrating this. We said many times, the human presence in the world is a special quality. In the terms that he was given, so to speak, he's in the world by right, not by personal guilt that he has to fight for it, but he was given a place in the world and a mission in the world. So he is here not just to support himself, but he really belongs here. He has a mission. And this is reflected in the fact that he can own, Odom shouldn't buy any Odom, he can own property. He's given the right, the ability to own property, to own a place for himself. The animal, like we said many times, everybody objected to actually, the lion also has his turf, but the lion does not own his turf. He is a constant vigil to protect his turf. Doesn't have a right to it. So here's it's very simple phenomenon. The human being, because of the principle with which he was created, that reflects itself at every level, even in the lowest physical presence. That he has a right to the place where he sits. Very simple. This is reflective of the first principle of which he was created. You don't have that in the animal world. They don't have that. And therefore, similarly, it's reflected in that if you have a guest, you serve him directly in his place. You recognize his presence by serving him his particular plate, not that he has to go and find it for himself. This is taking this nakuda at much lower level. And it's reflected, this effective of the same nakuda. So this is one way, one principle in this kav, that it takes the nidim from the nakuda and it extends it throughout a whole array of different levels. This is one way to explain the kav. V'o'efon habeis, okay, v'o'efon habeis who, the second manner where the kav extends is hakav. It does that the kav who rag his galus haprotin shevankud. That the meaning of the kav is bringing out the content that is in the nakuda. So this will need to be discussed as we go through.
This would be different, bringing out the content.
That's right. The content of the nakuda.
As opposed to just reflecting it on different levels.
That's right. Loi havoz haprat, not the bringing down the prat, the particular of the nakuda, lidei hasoga v'havono, not the bringing it down to the point of havono hasoga v'havono, where it can be comprehended and understood. I'm discussing these two words in a moment. Kiim, rather rak havoz v'his galos haprotim shebanakud. It's only bringing down and expressing the protim that are contained in the Nakud. Bringing the Nakuda to Hasoga v'Havona. The Nakuda initially is known, is at the level of Chokhmah. In other words, the Nakuda initially is known in its point of truth. Then when one delves into that, he sort of makes sense of it, and he justifies it, and explains why this is so. This is, like I said, this is the first in of the cup. Finding it at various levels. Bringing the Nakuda to Havana V'Hasoga. Havana V'Hasoga means grasp. In Chokhmah there is no grasp. This is why Chokhmah is referred to as the primary quality of Chokhmah is identified as beetle. Because if one lacks beetle, Chokhmah does not force itself upon you. You will see it if you want to see it. When you keep your eyes open, you'll see it.
We're comparing Chokhmah and Havana right now because
That's right.
Chokhmah is often an aleph
Right.
and Havana often a beit.
No. Oifen ha'alef of the kav is bringing the Chokhmah la de Havana v'Hasoga. That's what you said before. Bringing down various levels. Havana v'Hasoga means to bring it to a graspable level. Chokhmah does not have a grasp. Just like sight, you see something, you saw it. It doesn't have to make sense to you that you saw it. But you saw it. That's why Chokhmah is described as beetle. You take what you see, what the truth is. To bring it down, that's already different, that's a whole process. Bring it down lower, as we said before. This is the first aspect of the kav. To bring the Chokhmah down to Havana V'Hasoga. Sechel cotton. The second aspect of the kav is to reveal the content, the inherent content of this Nakuda, which we will discuss tomorrow. Have a great day.